Okay, so I just made this video and I said everything wrong, and since I can't edit it, then it's just gonna be like that. He thinks I'm talking to him. He wants belly rub. So I only have 7 minutes with this video, so I'm gonna try and get it done. Yeah, I can't edit. I got a new laptop thinking I could, but then I can't, so that's that. But I'm gonna make a video on the difference between a service dog and an ESA. I know a lot of YouTubers have this, but lately on Facebook, mainly, I've seen people kind of putting them in the same category and not realizing the difference between an ESA and a service animal. So that's why I'm making the video too. I figured I didn't need to because there's so many YouTubers with the information out there, but why not? But I said it all wrong before, so I'm going to start over again. So an ESA, or emotional support animal, can be any animal. It doesn't matter. It can be any animal, and they do not get to go in public. They only get to ride in the cabin of a plane with the handler and no pet housing. They need a doctor note, yada, yada, yada. They don't need training, or no pet deposit. You don't have to pay a pet deposit for them. But they don't get to go in public, and you do have to have a mental disability such as depression, and their sole purpose is to comfort you, which by the ADA is not a task, which is why they don't have rights. And also for certain animals, like if you have an exotic animal such as a snake, the airline can legally say you can't bring your snake. The only sure thing is a dog and a cat, but even then it's Willy Wonkish, and they can kind of just, they have a lot of weird rules regarding because they have a lot of flexibility with emotional support animals. Like I know some airlines can say they have to be kenneled. They can be in the cab legally, but they have to be in a kennel. So I know there's a lot of different, I even heard a while back they said, one airline said no bully breeds, and for whatever reason they had a right to say that. So I know there's a lot of different laws. It's more flexible than it is with a service dog. A service dog goes through no less than 2 years extensive public access and task training. They have a job. Even a psychiatric service dog does crowd control, not in an aggressive way, because I know a lot of people think anxiety service dogs are aggressive. I've heard that so much with him. Like, no, he's not. So he does crowd control. They can do crowd control, block, finding exits, alert to anxiety attacks, do deep pressure therapy, which is proven to reduce anxiety signals from going to the brain. And then obviously medical alert dogs, mobility dogs, guide dogs. They all have a specific job or jobs. Sometimes like he's medical alert. It's gonna be light mobility eventually. Very light. They'll like momentum upstairs and stuff to give my lungs kind of a break. And then psychiatric, so some of them have more than one job, but you get the point. So they have specific jobs. They've been specifically task trained. They do not need IDs for housing, and I think for airplanes in certain cases too. You do need a doctor note for them, but it's not specific. Like when I first gave them mine, it was too specific, and they legally couldn't have all the information it said, so I had to go back and get another one because it was too specific at what he does. So, and so even then, but yeah, that's pretty much the difference. They get public access rights. Service dogs. Service dogs can only be dogs and mini horses. No other species or animal can legally be a service animal. It's only dogs, mini horses, in special cases. I don't know how you train a horse. I know some people train them for scents. I've heard that they say, but I feel like they don't have as strong a nose as a dog. But I know people who are like allergic to dogs use them. So I don't know. I feel like a mini horse would be best for mobility than anything else. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't have experience with them. But, so that's just kind of the difference. But I made this video a lot faster than I made the last one that I messed up on. So I feel like I'm not saying all the information. But it's pretty much just self-explanatory. An emotional support animal only gets to be in no pet housing or no pet deposit and then ride in the cabin of a plane. Service dogs get that, but they also get public access rights because they are classified medical equipment. And they help with the handler with the disability, specifically. They go through extensive training. Different states also have laws for a service dog in training. My state allows them. Some states you have to have a trainer present with you, and some states they don't allow them at all. which I feel like would be hard to train. Although lately I've seen so many people working 3 and 4 month old. Like I saw 3 or 4 month old puppies in public, and so now I'm kind of like, well, maybe it would be best if they didn't allow them. Before I was like, well, how are you going to train a dog if they're not allowed in public? But lately I've seen so many people working young puppies, and I'm like, either that, or either they shouldn't be allowed, or they need to be like, okay, fine, a service dog and training's allowed, but the dog has to be at least, at least 8 months, maybe 6, you can argue, but not 3 or 4 months. That's way too young to be working a dog. So that's kind of my little rant, but because I always thought they should have rights because they have to learn. But working these young dogs in public that I've seen lately is not okay, and that kind of makes me feel like, oh, maybe it's in the dog's best interest to not have rights. But my state does allow them, so thankfully it was easy to train them because we could train everywhere. There's things in public you can't train without going to it. Buses, movie theaters, regular grocery stores. Like, there's things you can't do just from doing pet-friendly places. Oh, what was that? That was a noise, huh? Oh, yeah. Did you hear a noise? Good no bark. Good quiet. He's like, oh, now I'm thinking about it. Good boy. So that's the difference between an ESA and a service dog. I hope I said everything I needed to say. States can, there's no ID for them.